Okay, this is not the video I was planning on releasing today, but it's the morning, I'm scrolling through my Instagram, I'm having a little cereal. When I come across this picture. My immediate reaction is, before I triple take, so why? Why my over the top and very unnecessary reaction? Well, this is Mezut Ozil. This is a top name. Even if he plays for Fenerbache now, he's kind of dropped down the order. He's an ex-Real Madrid and Arsenal player. He is a serious quality player and a serious name. And, look down, he is rocking concave football boots. Now, there's nothing wrong with concave boots, but they're not exactly the biggest name, and they don't have the biggest profile, especially not anymore. Their profile seems to be growing in places like Australia with the Aussie Rules players, but in football, since they had Hulk, they haven't really had any major standout players recently. So if they have managed to get Mezut Ozil, that is a huge, huge coup for Concave, and I'm sure a huge drain on their marketing budget. So if we look at these boots though, this isn't just a one-off, off-the-rack pair of concave boots that Mezut Ozil's trying out. For a starter, he's not doing that because they're not blackout boots. Like, he's not being given maybe a contract by Concave and they've said, hey, look, consider this, and he's trying out the boots and he doesn't want to give them any publicity, which is what players would normally do, so they'd normally wear blackouts. Ozil is wearing a white boot with very clear Concave branding. But this boot is not either of the two most recent white releases from Concave. They have two colorways, one in the Halo Plus in white and one in the Halo Plus that's called the Cave Gang release. There's not really a huge amount of difference between them. They both have leather forefeet, they're both white, and they just have little visual details. Neither one has a white concave logo on the back of the boot, like so. This is a Halo Plus. This is the maize variation, so this is the synthetic, not the leather, but essentially what he's wearing is this boot. But this concave logo on the back of Mezut Ozil's boot is white. Hi Hamilton, you go away. The two white concave boots that have been released recently you can buy have that in black and kind of a gold color. So it's not that. There's also branding down the, well, not branding, there's a personalization down the lateral side of the boot. Looks to be some kind of text, maybe a flag. I can't see exactly what it is, which means that these boots have been customized to Mezut Ozil. And the biggest giveaway that these are customized for him is not in the sole plate, because that seems to be exactly the same if you take a look at the pictures, but in the central lacing piece. So you can see here, there's a black piece that runs down the middle of the boot. It's kind of a neoprene, acts as a neoprene sock down the middle of the boot. It's pretty nice. But again, on the retail versions, neither one has a black sock running down the middle, which is exactly what Mezut Ozil's have. So this is a boot that has been built, designed, and customized to Mezut Ozil's specifications. As I say, leather as well, which is not surprising. One, because the retail variation of these boots are leather, and also because if we look at Mezut Ozil's kind of boot preferences, his history going into those Predator accelerators, that seems to be something that he likes. So if they're custom building boots for Mezut Ozil, you'd have to assume that they think there is a reasonable chance that Mezut Ozil will sign with them. Do I think he's already signed with them? It's unlikely, because if he had and it was all said and done and all kind of down on paper in concrete, Concave would be making the biggest deal out of this, if you ask me, because that would be the biggest name that arguably Concave have ever signed. But I have to imagine that the talks are fairly far along. Look at Raheem Sterling wearing the New Balance boots. He is rumored to be signing with them. He's tried out these boots for a very long period of time at this point, and he has a custom boot, one that's for him. He was wearing the V6 Plus variation of the Furon well before that boot actually got released, but there's still no New Balance branding on that boot. You can't tell it's a New Balance boot unless you look very closely. These concave boots are clearly concave boots, and it's unlikely that Ozil would be promoting this or have this on if he wasn't close to agreeing terms with Concave, which is just massive. Now, Ozil has had his problems primarily off the field of recent times, and whether they're problems or just opinions, it kind of depends on your point of view. Hi again, Hamilton. You need to get down, mate. Go on. Ozil has spoken out about a variety of things, certain things that most people, clubs, officials, and generally politicians even have kept quiet on, and it's your decision whether you agree or disagree with what he's talking about, but you could argue that it definitely played a factor in his release from Arsenal. So maybe that kind of thing, this outspoken political nature on controversial topics, has actually led brands like Nike and Adidas to not offer him endorsement deals. Maybe they're not pursuing somebody who has a controversial opinion that they don't feel they can cash in on. Now that's important because Nike, Adidas, Puma, they don't mind a controversial opinion. Look at Colin Kaepernick. But they don't want that controversial opinion to potentially backfire. And I'm not saying that Kaepernick's opinion is wrong. I support his right to kneel, and I support his point of view on that, and I support that what he's done, and I think the response was crazy. But that's a different topic. We're getting off track. But they have taken this, what is seen to be a controversial opinion, Nike with Colin Kaepernick, and cashed in on it. They made adverts. They made money. You can argue that people went about burning their Nike socks all you like, but Nike still made money off that because the small number of people that revolted against Nike and the publicity that they got off the back of it will have made them far more money, and their primary demographic of people, those people will have then seen that and supported Nike further and maybe gone out and bought more Nike product. I am way off topic again, but that definitely worked for Nike. So you have to look at Nike, Adidas, Puma. Could any of Mezut Ozil's opinions or any of his political viewpoints be used to their benefit? And the answer is probably no. So therefore, they're not likely to want to get him on board, at least not pay him to wear their boots. Concave, on the other hand, being a much smaller brand, they are maybe willing to take that risk and just get the name Mezut Ozil associated with Concave because of the exposure that brings. Part and parcel, and for example, this very video. I haven't spoken or reviewed a concave boot in, I don't know, let's say a year or so. We did review the Halo Plus, and yet here I am shelving all of my expected or planned videos for today in order to talk to you about concave and rant about what's going on and spitting my cereal across the room. This is big news, and it's big exposure for concave, and do I think it will benefit them? Probably, but we're yet to see Concave advertise Ozil has signed, and until that happens, I wouldn't be counting my chickens because I would still maybe anticipate Ozil going and just not bothering with a brand deal and just wearing whatever he likes. That he doesn't necessarily need the money from a brand deal. I don't imagine the amount that Concave are offering him is anything close to what he was being offered from his previous Adidas or Nike deals, purely because, well, they don't have the stature. They won't have the money to match that. So is it worth him to switch into the concave unless he genuinely really likes the boot? And you know what? I have the synthetic version and it's not a bad boot at all. It's definitely one that I recommend picking up kind of on discount rather than paying the full price, even though at full price they're reasonably priced. They're not that expensive. I think I've probably ranted for about long enough on this topic now. So Ozil has been spotted wearing concave boots, and we don't know if he's actually signed yet. He's wearing a custom Halo Plus, and I think that's kind of awesome. I'd love to see Ozil rock some concave boots. Let me know what you think. Do you think that would be super interesting? Do you want to see more kind of big names and smaller brands? If you do, then like the video, get subscribed to BootWizard, and comment down below what you think. But that's all from me here, my spit breakfast and my speedily created video thanks to Instagram. We will see you soon.